Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that I had been doing because I hadn't gotten a call to that point and just hadn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, so now to look back and say, okay, I didn't come out here till Friday to work out and stuff like that. I don't know. It's tough to explain just the difference. I really wasn't thinking much of it though.
So you here before you arrived, very that's been established.
No, I think in your mind you gotta take it week to week anyway, and you know, so really, nothing else changes. We still want to go out there and have a good week worth of work, and you know, that's really what it all comes down to.
Did you watch games on Sunday?
Always a little strange to watch games, but what else are you really doing on Sundays? You usually do a few things in the morning with kids. I watched a good bulk of the 1 o'clock games, and then after that, I tended not to watch as many of the 4:30 or the night games.
What do you feel you would?
Well, they've been creating turnovers recently, and I think they make you kind of go the long way, and just be patient.
I think it's Ryan Clark tried out for TV show because that's something you really consider being done in being an analyst, or how did that?
I really don't want to have to ever do that stuff. 15 years ago, I would have told you no chance at all. These days, I think you at least entertain the option. But yeah, I know. I don't know if you guys know me at all, but that's the last thing I really want to do with my life. So.
But did you audition?
Yeah, no, I went over. Listen, they were actually doing a thing at NFL Films, which I live 15 minutes from. So it was a good little way to go, kind of feel it out and see if it was something that you'd be interested in doing, could get better at, whatever it may be. It's definitely, listen, that's kind of what I mean. Like 15 years ago, it would have been just a hard no, but it still took some convincing for me to get over there. But at the end of the day, it was an experience that was probably worth having.
Joe, I've said after the game, keep doing what you're doing. You're going to be one of them if you're not already one of them. How important is that to hear from the captain of this football team?
Yeah, well, that's important. I think I've talked about it from day one, just becoming part of the team, and wanting to prove that you deserve to be a part of the team. So that's always important for a player.
What were you better at second game?
What's that?
What were you better at second game?
Oh man. Well, I think some of the things that I talked about, like in terms of being able to get out of the pocket when I needed to, and just not that it was a ton, but I still think I threw a couple bad balls that I'm not used to throwing, just because I don't feel like my feet were tied in with my eyes and all that stuff. So, more just conscious of still the improvements I need to make, as opposed to what I improved on.
Joe, we've talked.
Who are some of the quarterbacks that you may have heard from? I heard Peyton say something nice about you the other day. Have you heard from some of the, quarterbacks that were your peers, throughout your career? And if so, can you share anything that maybe somebody had said?
I've mostly heard the last few weeks of just guys that I've played with, coaches that I've, been with, whether it's people from Baltimore, Delaware, New York, I think you make a lot of relationships with the people that you play with. And that's kind of always how I've been. Everybody always asks me, do you have a relationship with this guy or this guy or this guy? I mean, I'm kind of private as it is, and I have a lot of relationships with the guys that I played with. But outside of that, I never really gone out of my way to probably make a ton of those relationships. I don't want to be a bother. But I've mostly, like I said, heard from the people that I've played with and the coaches that I've had in the past and all that. And it's been fun, obviously.
Joe, we've talked about how fast this all happened. We'd have told you 89 passes in the first 2 minutes. Would you have thought that was coming?
Listen, I've been around long enough to know that you really can't, set some kind of expectation and expect that to actually come true. This is the NFL. You get into these games, and each game is its own thing, and you just have to do what's meant for you to, what's made for you. And during the game, when you're out there playing, you don't even realize how many times you're dropping back. It's just kind of part of what happens.
Joe, as you've gone with the team, how has your relationship with Kevin grown, just as you've acclimated to him as a coach?
Yeah, listen, I think he does a great job, and I think he deserves a lot of credit, obviously, with the amount of variables that he's been dealing with this year. And for me and him, it's just obviously the more he gets a feel for, what we're good at while I'm back there, and the more we can talk in the meeting rooms. Obviously, the more I play, the more easily conversations come up. So you get a better feel for each other that way.
No,
Ed
you-
Miles called you Kevin Stefanski's long lost brother.
Somebody was saying that last week. I mean, I'm a guy with a beard. I could shave it off and look completely different tomorrow. So I probably should. It's just playing into the fact that I'm an older quarterback. If I shave this off, it would probably take 5 years off. But
Joe Whiteteller was saying that down the stretch the other day, you were kind of, I think he called you a calming voice of reason in the final couple of minutes. How important is that role for you, just to kind of keep everybody on task and, in the moment, as we talked about?
I don't think it's like actively what I'm trying to do out there at this point. But I hope that I hope that my personality and my playing style can definitely bring that along with it. And that's what a quarterback's job is. That's what a leader's job is. So I'm glad to hear that. And like I said, at this point in my career, it's not like I'm super conscious of it anymore, but definitely want to be that guy.
Joe, kind of off Tom's question, just about you've been in a lot of big situations, big moments over your career. Now you're in the midst of a playoff push here. How much is that experience going to help you, and what can you impart on these guys, as they go, try to close this out?
It's always tough to quantify like the experience thing and how much it actually matters, because in the moment on Sunday it comes down to what you're doing on that individual play. But I'm a big believer in that being in tough situations prepares you for the toughest of situations. And if you're a team that deals with a lot of adversity and plays these tight games, even though it's not exactly what you want all the time and it's not perfect, and it definitely prepares you for games that are going to have to be that way down the stretch. I think early in my career, every now and then we would beat up on a team and blow them out, and it wouldn't be a game in the fourth quarter. But I feel like the teams I was on back then played so many games where it came down to the last drive or the last 5 minutes of the game, and you just get used to treating them like normal situations and not overreacting in those situations. So I think the more that a team like this can deal with those, then the better off we'll be. And Sunday was kind of like that. It was that environment. Whatever you believe that should have happened in that game, or we should have done that to that team, it was what it was, and it came down to the last couple minutes of the game. And I think in the long run, it's one of those things that we can kind of draw from in the end, and realize that we don't have to overreact and panic in those situations. We can just stay true to ourselves and go play the game.
Joe, I know you didn't play at all with Jed, Will. You only had the one game with the line, but how do you guys kind of react and deal with losing both starting tackles within 2 days?
It's just the next man up. You can't really think about it. I mean, we found out late last week, I guess, that DeJuan wasn't going to be able to go, and it's a shame. I mean, you want your guys out there, but like I said, these are all, everybody in here is our guy, and it's just next man up mentality, and that's what I talked about earlier. I think you have to give a lot of credit to Kevin just for dealing with those variables and being able to continue to go out there and have success.
Joe,
Have you ever been part of a season where, like, we've just seen this massive amount of injuries? I mean, injuries are always going to happen, but you stepped into it, you were in here for all of them, but just to have this sheer number, how do you keep spirits up and not let that be demoralized when you see like more guys?
Yeah, I've probably been part of seasons where we've been injured like this. I don't know if anywhere we're still standing 8-5. So I think the fact that we've been able to go out there, these guys have been able to go out there and still put it together a bunch of wins, has definitely helped the mindset in terms of that. Obviously, if it was the other way, you wouldn't be feeling as good. But I think going out there and winning cures a lot.
Joe, last one.
What's it like for you to be able to incorporate these younger guys and spread that ball around and have moments like David Bell's first career touchdown? What's it like for you to be part of that?
It's a lot of fun after the fact. I mean, during the game, you're just trying to throw to the ball to the right guy and find the open guy. But I don't know if you guys saw it when he was running running into the end zone, the big smile he had on his face. At the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. It's about going out there and having fun and competing and enjoying the process of it all. So definitely really cool to see that.
Joe, can I
All right,
one
thanks
more?
guys.
Joe, I'm sorry. I'm just curious. Now that you're back out there, you given any thoughts how much longer you want to do this?
Not specifically. I don't know if I've ever. I think probably early on, people would ask me, "How long do you want to play?" And you probably say 15 years or something. But at this point, I don't really want to put a number on anything. I just want to go out there and play my best and then see where that goes. I think I've been in enough situations now to realize that it may or may not be up to me. So you just got to go out there and play and don't take anything for granted.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.